The media used to have a duty to accurately report the news, but after years of bias in their coverage, their own audience is laughing in their face.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. No, I know. CNN makes a... I know
that's supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
The one time there's an honest, authentic laugh on that show, when there's not a sign yelling applause and laugh, is an unintended joke about the objectivity of CNN.
Thrown on his heels by this, and he's not really sure how to go after Vice President Harris. He knew his attack lines on President Biden. He really has struggled with how to go after someone who's 20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. No, I know. CNN makes a... I know
that's supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
Of course, the biggest laugh Stephen got was unintentional there, but even his lefty audience recognised how hopelessly biased CNN is. And this is an audience that watches this.
Yesterday, a Reuters Ipsos poll had Vice President Kamala Harris leading former President Donald Trump 44-42.
Oh, looks like it could take on Aussie breakdancer Ray Gunn with those moves. But look, I'm just happy old Steve-O is smiling and dancing again, because he was in a dark place not long ago. Remember this mad rant?
I know how numb we've become, but it's not normal. No other candidate for the presidency has ever had to pause his campaign to defend himself in multiple courts. And I would like to point out that in all 7 of his cases, no one doubts that he did these things. We're just sitting around patiently waiting to find out if the wheels of justice will grind fast enough for there to be any consequences.
Imagine how unhinged his little echo chamber must be if he genuinely believes the sham cases against Donald Trump are legitimate. You know, there's a reason why his poll numbers went up every time he was indicted. Even being convicted didn't hurt him with most voters. And that's because despite the efforts of CNN and co., most folks can recognise political persecution when they see it. And on CNN, they really did disgrace themselves overnight with deliberate disinfo after Donald Trump's 2-hour chat with Elon Musk. Indeed, the bulk of the media has been in full propaganda mode about the interview. They've been calling it a big flop, but the numbers tell another story. Despite technical issues that delayed the start, tens of millions, and by some metrics, hundreds of millions, have already listened to part or all of the Trump-Musk interview. But this is how CNN described it.
With 40 minutes of silence and then a bropocalypse of politics, no matter how you frame it or what caused the glitch, what was finally said between Donald Trump and Elon Musk at last night's Big X event can largely be defined as a rant filled with familiar lies and lines of attack.
Familiar lies and lines of attack, as she describing her CNN colleagues there. And CNN were at it again with this shameless bit of fake news. This is astonishingly dishonest.
I want to play one exchange that was kind of classic. Well, there were a lot of exchanges that were classic Donald Trump, but this one really stuck out to us.
And Nagasaki were bombed, but now they're like full cities again. So
right,
it's really not something that, you know, so it's not as scary as people think, basically.
So that was more Elon Musk than Donald Trump talking about, sort of suggesting that what happened almost 80 years ago, I think 80 years ago next year, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Now it's okay, kind of trying to blow off the impact of that.
But that was not what they were talking about at all. And CNN has deceptively edited that clip and not even mentioned that the discussion was actually about nuclear energy and why it has a bad name because of nuclear bombs. Trump mentioned nuclear energy needs a rebrand. The unedited chat CNN cut up was over 2 minutes. Here's a little bit of it unedited.
There's the bad side of nuclear, which is a nuclear war, very bad side. But there's also, I think, nuclear electricity generation is underrated.
You're right.
And it's actually, people have this fear of nuclear electricity generation, but it's actually one of the safest forms of electricity generation. It's just a huge misunderstanding.
If you listen to the whole discussion, you see they weren't saying nuclear bombs and destruction were no big deal, as CNN would have you believe.